I want to take you to the UFC back in '93 when it first came on the scene. There was, groin punching, hair pulling, headbutting. All of that was allowed. Senator John McCain, famously called the sport barbaric, like human cockfighting. How fair do you think the criticism was then?
I think it was very fair. We didn't disagree with McCain or any of the other people. The problem was with the old UFC was McCain came out and said, you can't put on these unregulated fights with no athletic commission or, making sure that the fighters are taken care of, the doctors, you're going through the proper medical testing. Fighting, boxing or mixed martial arts, these combat sports are the most regulated sport in America. Basically, everything we do is overseen by the government. And he was telling the old owner, you can't do this. And the old owner said, well, I'll just go to places where you can't get me, which is nowhere. I mean, if you think about the last person on earth you want to butt heads with, it's the government. You do not want to butt heads with the government. So, and the reality was, as we got involved in this sport and started to learn more about it, like you said, when I started to work with Tito and Chuck, as we started to learn about the sport, we were blown away by it, by what great athletes these guys were. Most of these guys graduated from college. All these myths about this sport were just that. They were myths. None of it was true. It was basically old marketing by the old owners just to make it sound crazy. Because, and to not smash this guy and make it sound like, how did this guy blow this? In a million years, these guys never thought they were creating a sport. The first UFC was put on by this guy. He was a television guy. And it was supposed to be, let's answer the age-old question of which fighting style is the best. Will a karate guy beat a kung fu guy? Will a wrestler beat a boxer? We'll put on this one-time pay-per-view, and we'll see how it goes. Well, they put on their first pay-per-view, and it was huge. It rivaled the WWE and big boxing events at the time. So, of course, they're going to do another one. So they did another and another and another.
People only want to see kind of a freak show for so long, though.
Well, the answer, the marketing for this thing was, 2 men enter the cage, 1 man leaves, and the most brutal, bloody, violent sport in the world. And the reality is, even back in the crazy days, right? It's been almost 18 years now. There has never been a death or serious injury in the UFC. Mm-hmm. But if you went out on the street and started talking to, everyday regular people that have never seen the UFC, they'd be like, that's that crazy stuff where people die and, but it's not the truth. That was just the hype. And the answer to that age-old question is, no one fighting style is the best. You have to have a little piece of everything to be a complete fighter. And what's amazing about the UFC and the first UFC is that since 1993, martial arts has evolved more than it has in the last 10,000 years. And it's continuing to evolve because of the UFC. So while, the gentleman who owned this before we did, if he had not done that and done it the way that he did it, we wouldn't be here today. And this new martial art wouldn't have been invented.